today. It is World Diabetes Day, and one in are managing this condition. It far to manage your symptoms, so good for you if it's that way. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, of course, my core being vibration plates. But I would love to hear today if you are if you are dealing with symptoms like swelling, you're struggling with some weight, or perhaps you're deteriorating in your strength or your mobility. There's lots of different ways that you can improve your situation through your self-care. The key with self-care is you got to do it. I'm just scrambling through here trying to get some links you guys organized and journey, as many of you know, and Lifepro's got a whole suite of different tools to help you manage those symptoms. So today, while I talk, I thought we'd shake a little bit, and I would discuss one of my favorite ways to improve symptom management or self-care, or whatever you want to call it, and it's combining some of the tools that you probably already have around the house. If you're joining me from the VIP page, I know many of you are using Lifepro tools now. As I said, if you are joining me today and you'd like to join in on the conversation, I should get the conversation window open. Let me know if you can see and hear me on that end, and I'm going to get into my ramble. Lifepro also has a 30% off select items going on. Some of these items are in that realm, so I've just dropped a link in the window there to let you know how to access the deals. Any of the deals, the 30% off, are with Lifepro Direct in the US, not via Amazon. It's an early Black Friday deal they're having. So I used this in my last session. My daughter made this. So 30% off plus a free gift. So today, my chair looks a little bit different. I have got Lifepro's mini InfraZen mat set up. And what we're going to do today, many of you dealing with diabetes are managing, things like fatigue, and it's hard to get active, or maybe the neuropathy has progressed to a point where it makes your stability, and you're not as confident in going about your normal day-to-day activities. So I wanted a couple of reasons you may want to combine to manage symptoms. A vibration plate, in my opinion, it can be a therapy, but it can also be a weight-bearing exercise. It's the one. If you look in the world of frequency technologies, all of these are frequency technologies. They all operate under similar premises. A vibration plate is a mechanical stimulus of a frequency, and it forces your body to move. So when you're dealing with neuropathy, when you're dealing with, insulin levels all over the place, I'm not going to lecture you about the benefits of exercise. We all know being active offers a number of benefits. And the biggest reason you want to be active is not only to manage your diabetes, but as a preventative piece. Activity, we know, is going to keep our body healthy and strong. It's going to keep our cardiovascular health in check. Activity is key in managing and preventing diabetes, or the onset of it. And aerobic and resistance exercise, if we go into Google and ask them what is the best exercise for diabetes, type 1, type 2, we're not getting that specific today, but aerobic and resistance. So many of you that have vibration plates, I wouldn't necessarily classify it as, I'm using it now, as an aerobic activity, but many of you are maybe not in a position, or are deconditioned to a point where, doing a big sweat fest at the gym in an aerobics class is probably not something that you're ready for. So a vibration plate can help you build to the point. You are going to get some aerobic activity through the increase in circulation. You're going to deliver more oxygen throughout your body. And vibration plates are probably best described as an accelerated resistance activities. So we know they're working the muscles. Right now in a seated position, I'm not adding as much mass into the equation as I may if I were standing doing a squat, weight bearing. But the reason I wanted to do today's session is many of you are in a situation where, we're managing the symptoms because we're at a point where we have to. The neuropathy's developed, the balance is poor, the much atrophy setting in. So if you are in a position where you're trying to build and get active, one of the worst things to hear when you go to the doctor or the care provider's office is you got to get more active. And physically, you're just at a point, we all know how we got there, but we're not necessarily in a position to go back 40 years in time and undo the things we haven't been doing for 40 years. So just by sitting here and allowing the plate to move me, I'm boosting circulation. I'm increasing micro circulation, which is a big deal if you're dealing with peripheral neuropathy. Activity is going to improve your body's sensitivity to insulin. So, even if you can only be active in this fashion starting out, the efforts you're making to manage your insulin, maybe you're taking insulin for your condition, obviously, it's going to help manage blood sugar levels. That's another reason we want to be active. Again, I want to stress the plate is just an easier way to be active. I'm combining a few things or suggesting combining a few things today, and I'm going to get into some other demonstrations here. For those of you that weren't here when I first flipped this up, I am sitting on the InfraZen mini mat. So while I'm doing my legs and getting some circulation and some action going on the lower body, I am treating my butt, my thighs, my waist, my core with infrared heat and PEMF heat. So why would I be doing that, Debbie? My notes are out of order. You have to bear with me today. PEMF, which is probably a little, I would say, the newer technology that Lifepro is offering. PEMF is going to help reduce neuropathy pain. You'll notice that I've leaned over. I'm tired of just sitting there. So by adding my elbows to my knees, my shoulders and my neck are becoming part of the equation. But PEMF, there is not as much research, but there is more research coming. Lots of the claim to fame with pulse electromagnetic field therapy is its ability to regenerate bone or heal or accelerate bone healing. But for those of you dealing with diabetes, that may be an issue as well. But it's going to help reduce the neuropathy pain. It's also going to help improve the microcirculation dysfunction for those of you that are dealing with peripheral neuropathy. So this is a very passive way to get some additional therapy time while you're using your vibration plate, or perhaps you're doing it separate. If you're spending a lot of time seated, I really recommend taking a look at the InfraZen mini mat or the full mat if you prefer to do it laying down. But it's a really excellent way to get some additional therapy time, really help that circulation and manage pain if that's something that you're dealing with as well. The other option available in the InfraZen mats is infrared, which I have a much longer list on. Why would we want to use infrared for diabetes, Debbie? Well, there's lots of different reasons. Infrared, to me, my favorite answer is it just feels good. The heat. For those of you that are dealing with aches and pains, infrared is going to be a great way to really boost that circulation, that lymphatic movement. It's going to help reduce or even eliminate peripheral artery disease. There's lots of research out there on that. So those of you that have developed to that point, there's never, a lot of times we talk about treating symptoms, but we never talk about improving them. And that's one of the things that you will see more research on than infrared. Doesn't mean anecdotal evidence isn't out there in lots of ways. I've had many clients in my day not only reverse their diagnosis, but they're living better quality of lives. There's nothing worse than a health scare to get you back on track. Infrared heat also helps increase insulin resistance. Notice the theme here. Infrared, as well as red light, which we'll get into next, is also great for healing or accelerating wound healing. So for those of you that are dealing with diabetic ulcers, perhaps, you're on blood thinners and things just don't heal as quick, or you got to be careful. You're dealing with dark patches or black toes or things, that progressive. Red light, I can't say enough about, and I have lots of personal experience within my own family. And one of the things I love to do when I'm combining, I've got the infrared going on the InfraZen mat, so I'm getting that nice warming, hugging heat that the infrared offers. But for those of you that want to lose weight, you want to boost that cardio function, cardiac health, it's a great way to kind of artificially do a bit of a cardio cheat. I'm not suggesting that you only use infrared, but for those of you that are struggling with weight, wanting to accelerate weight loss, of course, we know the benefits associated with infrared heat. So that's another added bonus. I'm going to flip over to red light now, and I'm moving to add another accessory. The more the merrier. Many of you ask about combining your treatments. Red light is an awesome way to boost that circulation. It's also known for improving insulin resistance, and it's going to also help accelerate wound healing. As I mentioned, this might be a little bright, but what I've got here is the BioHeal panel, the large one, propped up against a shelf. I'm not looking directly at it, but I am allowing it to cast. It's a very common area of issue, those neuropathy feet, the sensation, the pins and the needles. And if you're not feeling your feet, it affects your gait, all kinds of things. So the best thing you can use Lifepro's technologies for is to manage the symptoms to get you to a point where you can be more active. So I'm throwing all my bells and whistles here. I've got the red light therapy light going. I've got the vibration plate physically moving my legs. I'm sitting on the PEMF mat. I've got my pulse electromagnetic field and my infrared technology going on. This is a more bang for your buck for 10-15 minutes if that's what you're doing, especially for those of you that are short on time. Another reason to combine therapies is because you're dealing with severe symptoms, acute stuff, really, really debilitating pain. You're kind of at that line where things have to turn around. Other things about red light, they've been shown to reduce blood sugar levels, which is a concern. Food is the hardest piece, I know, for many of you, and even though you might be doing the right steps with the food, sometimes your body is just not cooperating with you. It's going to make more efficient glucose metabolism. Red light also reduces pain and inflammation associated with peripheral neuropathy again, or diabetic neuropathy, and it improves insulin sensitivity. Gosh, everything we're talking about today improves insulin sensitivity. It's also going to boost your mood. So a lot of times when you're dealing with all this crap, it takes a toll on the mental health, let's face it. And red light is an awesome way to improve the mood. If you start feeling better about what you're doing, if you start finding you're just not motivated to do the self-care, anything you can do to change the mental is going to go a long way. So I'm going to turn that off so I can see you a little bit better. So today was just an example of a few things that you could do to combine, especially for those of you that are limited to sitting. A couple of other just really quick tips that I want to go over. Vibration plate specific, one of the areas that I'd really like you to focus on strengthening or keeping strong is the calves, flexibility in the ankles. So what can I do while I'm seated? I've done lots and lots of sessions in this group, as have Amber and Roseanne. While you're seated, there's all kinds of yoga chair moves you can do. I like recommending little foot pumps or leg movements, anything that you can do to keep the flexibility in the ankles going, strength and flexibility in the calves. Your calves are having to do all the work of supporting the rest of our body when we are upright. It's returning all that blood flow. And for any of you that are dealing with cardiac issues, it's really, really important. I'm sure your therapists have told you to keep those calves strong. So even just doing little seated calf raises, stretches, alternating, instead of just sitting there, there's all kinds of things that you can do. I've talked about pool noodles, incorporating rollers. The PEMF mat is also really, really great. I wouldn't recommend putting it on your plate, but I like placing mine on the floor or on the bed from kind of the butt or just under the butt down to do a lower body treatment. So if the budget doesn't allow for the larger mat, or you see yourself wanting the seated version, you can lay it flat and treat yourself laying down on the couch. I've got a couple of other options here. I'm always circling back to this. I talked about Lifepro's 50% off deals on Monday. I think there was an offer for those of you in the VIP group. There might be a better offer on this item that went out today. I can't say enough about the BioRemedy blanket. They're affordable. They're effective. Everybody's got space for one. This is a great way to get a lot of the benefits we talked about today. Roseanne did an awesome video that she shared this week where she was laying down with her calves on the plate while she was in this. You're only limited by your imagination and your range of motion, people. This one, Amber launched last week. This is the Aliva Body Fit. This is a new red light mat that Lifepro has come out with. I haven't even taken this one out of the box, but I'm excited to very soon. For those of you that have been using red light for some time, you're looking, you find you're using it more as a total body thing. Once you start using these technologies, you often crave them, or your body tells you you need your fix. So the Aliva Body is full size red light treatment. There's a nice covering, simply wipes clean. If you're looking at investing in your health, and I do call this an investment, this is something you're going to be using for a very, very long time. Probably not just yourself, but other people in your household. So this is going to offer you a lot of the benefits we talked about today if you're looking for something more total body. And this is a great way to end your day, begin your day. Red light, we know it boosts mitochondria function. It makes your cells do their job and perform their work more effectively. So for those of you that are already using red light, you've got some of the wearables. This is a step up, but it's certainly something I think was a very wise decision for Lifepro to come in with something a lot more full body, especially for those of you that are dealing with limited mobility. Perhaps you're bedridden. There's lots of great tools that you can use to help expedite managing those symptoms. You don't need to be suffering, and get yourself on track moving forward towards improving your health overall. So I hope that offered you guys some ideas today. Diabetes is one of those conditions that is if you're not dealing with it yourself, you probably know someone certainly in your life that is dealing with this. Perhaps you're caring for someone, and as a care provider, a lot of these tools can really help you be more effective in your role of supporting those with diabetes. Many of them are dealing with more than just diabetes. There's typically, if you're dealing with chronic issues, there's usually a few things that you're dealing with. So any of these technologies are non-invasive. Our body, our neurological system, our cells is comfortable with these technologies. And I recommend being conservative when starting out on time and intensity with these new treatments, especially if you're combining them. So if you are dealing with a situation where you've got really, really severe or acute symptoms and you want to start combining your technologies, add one at a time would be a tip that I would consider. So I've been using a lot of these technologies, together independently regularly. But if you're starting with a new technology, let's say you're looking at the PEMF mat or you're considering the red light mat, try it on its own, see how you react to it, find out kind of what settings are comfortable for you, and then combine it with your vibration plates. So, sort of give it a chance on its own, give your body time to become assimilated to it. And what you'll find with red light and infrared light, after a period of about maybe a month or two, once your body kind of assimilates to the technology, you may not need as much time. If you find that you've been using these technologies for quite some time and you've hit a bit of a plateau, often just kind of a rest and a reset is a great approach to take. So just take, 3-4 days off, maybe a week, give your body a chance away from the technologies. And when you return to it, you'll often find, your body knows it's craving, it's been missing it. And you may get the same effects in less treatment time just because your body, it's already conditioned to this and it knows what it needs. And it's very hard to overdo it on some of these technologies. You can certainly overdo it on a vibration plate. if your swelling has increased, if you're really, really lethargic, if your muscles are really, really sore, you've probably done too much time or intensity where we're standing as wide as possible. Red light, give your body time to gradually build up to those longer durations, but I don't like to put parameters on time. When we're looking at managing symptoms, the best approach I often recommend is letting the symptoms dictate how often and how long. So when you're first starting out, start minimal with time and be consistent. And maybe after a week or two, add additional time or temperature from there once you've kind of got an idea of how your body feels and what your personal levels of comfort are. Hello, Nancy. Thank you for the wave. I appreciate you letting me know. If you have any questions related to today's session, you're dealing with diabetes, you've got, something specific that you have a question about, I invite those anytime. Always tag me at Debby with a Y, and I'll be happy to address that for you. Sometimes if you just leave a comment, things get lost in the conversation. Reminder that there's a 30% off deal going on right now with Lifepro. I've dropped the link in the comments. It's an early Black Friday deal. If there's something that you've been considering, supplies are limited. So don't wait till the last minute, the evening of Black Friday, and then to be disappointed because what you've been hoping for the last 90 days is now out of stock. So the pricing is what it is right now. Act while you can. There's some really great deals on 30% off. There's some 20% off. And keep an eye on your email for deals from Lifepro if you have signed up for their newsletter. If you are joining me from the Amazon world, if you bought on Amazon and you're not aware yet, when you purchase your Amazon, you don't always get the same information about Lifepro because you're Amazon's customer. Make sure that you please sign up and join the Lifepro VIP group on Facebook. Huge community of existing members there using lots of these products. Great questions there if you have some that you may want to post. Good community, a lot of anecdotal stories for those of you that are doing your research. It's a great place to just get feedback from others in the community using Lifepro's awesome products. And you're going to get, sometimes access to early information, early deals. Never miss a beat when you are with the Lifepro VIP group. So make sure that if you're not a member there, that you are following Lifepro's official pages to get the best and most accurate information and support. So thank you for joining me today. It's Thursday, so almost the weekend. I look forward to seeing you again next week on my regular time on Tuesday. And have a great rest of the week, a great weekend. Don't work too hard. Thanks so much for joining me. Spread the awareness, Lifepro. I thank you for giving me the time to ramble about the many conditions that I do. World Diabetes Day is today. Share the information from today's session. And if you have some of these technologies around the house and you're not really using them, consider this your butt kick. I'm here to help you get motivated too. So any questions you may have, shoot them up my way. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks so much, guys.